Green light given. Japan's cabinet has approved Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's attempt to change how the country's pacifist constitution is interpreted. Now, he may be happy, but many Japanese people, as well as Beijing and Seoul, are not. I'm Ramy Inocencio for Asia Today. Joining me from Tokyo is Narushige Michishita. He's a professor at the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies. Now, Professor, for those just joining these developments, what exactly is going to change here?
Well, we have to wait and find out, because the cabinet decision that was made yesterday was simply to make it possible for Japan to start exercising the right of collective self-defense. So we have this new right, but what to do with this new right is to be decided later on.
Basically, it means that the door is open, but then over the next few months, we'll find out what kind of reinterpretations might come up, right?
Exactly.
All right. Now, what do you think might be the priority, you say?
Well, I would say we've been talking about wartime scenarios in which, for example, Japan will try to intercept missiles, coming from North Korea toward the United States, Hawaii, or Guam. But I think in the immediate future, more important thing is what we can do in peacetime. Namely, without this right of collective self-defense, Japanese self-defense forces cannot participate in joint exercise, military exercises or training with countries in the region. But now with this new right, the self-defense forces will be able to participate in joint training and exercises with countries such as Australia, Southeast Asian countries, and India. So we'll be seeing that shortly, I think.
Right. It's important to note that it's not just for war, but as well for peace. What has been the reaction domestically in Japan? At least two polls, from what I heard, found that a majority of people weren't in favor of this reinterpretation.
Well, this different opinion polls have different results. And I would say if asked yes or no and don't know, about 30% of the people said yes, and another 30% said no, while the rest of the people have not been decided. So people are divided and ambivalent, and so really it depends what we will be doing upon what kind of actions we'll be taking based upon this new right in the future.
And moving from the domestic side to the international side, Japan's neighbors, namely China and South Korea, have voiced their own opinions. What have been their official lines?
Well, I mean, South Koreans and Chinese have been expressing concerns about the possible negative consequences of the change. But I think, having this new right is a good idea. To convince, I think we are actually now in a better position to convince the South Koreans and the Chinese of our ability to contribute positively to peace and security in this region. Because in the past, we are basically telling them, since we don't, do anything, we stay away from regional security affairs, so don't feel concerned about us. But that was a wrong message. But because this assumption in our approach was that Japan can potentially be a dangerous country. But now we are, trying to show them how Japan can be a positive factor in the security, international security in this region, but not by words, but by action. So I think we'll be able to prove our, commitment and our ability to act responsibly by action in the future.
Right. The onus definitely lies on Japan moving forward. One other thing moving forward, do you think people's attitudes in Japan will change now that this approval has happened?
Well, certainly, we'll wait and see, because people are really cannot have a decisive idea about whether, they have not been, they are divided. Partly why we don't know exactly what Japan and the Japanese government is going to do with this new right. And so we really have to wait and see what we will be doing.
All right, Narushige Michishita, professor at the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies, joining me from Tokyo with analysis on the latest change in how the country's pacifist constitution will be reinterpreted. For more on this, head to thewallstreetjournal.com. I'm Ramy Inocencio in Hong Kong.